this code PAD370 has been converted to the non-final exam code. Okay, so dia adalah subjek, bukan subjek yang tidak ada final exam. So because of that, the final test will be done earlier. Okay, so the test will not be run on the final exam week. Sorry, the in the examinations week. So dia akan buat awal. So week 14, we're going to have your final test. Okay, so dated 28 January, so 28th of January. Okay, we're going to have your final test. All of the campus basically will have a SEM test, the SEM final test, the SEM time, the SEM date for the final exam. So I will inform you the format later on in the end of this chapter. Okay, but for your early informations, the test will be conducted on 28th of January. Pagi ya. Okay, hari Jumaat tu. Jumaat pagi 28 hari bulan Januari 2022. Okay, so this is basically a new year kan, a new year. Basically we have another things to do, of course, okay, this year, okay, to finish all the discussions for PAD 370. Okay, Amis kena keluar masuk sekejap-sekejap sebab your friend masih lagi ada yang belum masuk untuk Google Meet. Okay, so basically for chapter 7, we have the public auditing, okay, which consists of another one important activities in public financial administration. Okay, which will cover, okay, several discussions inside it. So basically we have 9 things to discuss, okay, for chapter 7. Of course, we're going to start with the definitions, then we're going to see the objectives, okay, and then types of audit, internal and external audit, okay, roles of the Auditor General, the annual report of the Auditor General, and then also you have been introduced to Public Accounts Committee and the Public Account Committees, basically PAC, okay, are also having a roles in auditing. And then we're going to see a bit on the Audit Act 1957, and then we're going to conclude the discussions of chapter 7. Okay, are you okay? Can we start with the definitions?
Can, Miss.
Boleh. Okay. So, so let's start with the definitions of auditing. Sekejap, ada kawan-kawan mau masuk lagi. Okay. So, can someone read the definitions of audit? Volunteer, please. Please refer to the notes that have been shared with you. Can someone help me to read the definitions? Anyone?
Okay, Miss.
Alright, thank you. Siapa tu ah?
Nikki.
Sorry?
Nikki.
Nikki.
Mm-mm.
Alright, Nikki. Can you please read the first definitions of audit?
A process by which a competent, independent person accumulates and evaluates evidence about quantifiable information related to a specific economic entity for the purpose of determining and reporting on the degree of correspondence between quantifiable information and established criteria.
Alright, okay, thank you very much, Nikki. Okay, class, so from the definitions itself, okay, what do you understand on the process of audit? Anyone?
Independent person accumulates and
What are the things that you understand on the process of audit? Siapa boleh share? What do you understand on the process of audit? Okay, apa itu audit? Anyone? What is basically audit? If you didn't look into the definitions, what do you understand on the process of audit? Apa itu audit? Sorry? Inspections. Okay, so it's a process of inspections, or we call as a process of checking. Alright, to check what? Okay, inspections of what? Okay, so one of the things that we inspect is basically the accounting record. Okay, so we have learned about accounting in the last chapter. Okay, sorry, in the chapter before. Okay, so it's basically all the records of any transactions within the government need to be recorded in an accounting system or account record. All right, so after that, you know, after you record everything, of course there must be a process of checking all the informations, okay, to check whether all the informations has been put it correctly, or there are some probably missing report, or they are basically something which is probably fishy, or something which is not right, okay, that coming from any activities of the government. Okay, so good. Okay, the audit is basically a process of checking or inspections, right? So inspections meaning to say you inspect something, you check whether everything has been done correctly or not. Okay, so in case of audit itself, okay, so these audit activities, is referring to checking a things whether um, it is complying to the degree of correspondence, between quantifiable informations and the established criteria, meaning to say it checking the degree of correspondence, meaning to say in Malay, dia panggil sebagai tahap kepatuhan. Itu dalam bahasa Melayu dia. So the degree of correspondence is referring to in Malay we call as a tahap kepatuhan dia, which related to informations that been presented to us with a criteria that been set at the earlier of the process, meaning to say it compare an information that been presented to you in the report with the standard that you have. Okay, so dia tengok kita patuh tidak dengan, contoh we have, in chapter 2 you have learned on the federal constitutions, you have learned with the financial act and so on. There are a lot of law and also regulations that been stated, and there are a lot of SOP, the procedures that they have to follow, and there are a lot of standards that been set up to ensure that everybody is basically reaching the standard, and everything that been done within the government are reaching the standards and also according to the law and also regulations. Okay, so this is a process of audit. Checking whether the things that been done by the government is following the rules and regulations or not, and also checking whether everything that been done within the government are up to the standard that been set or not. Okay, so what happened if the things that been done by the government are not up to the standards, and what happened if there are some probably fishy activities that been done within the government? What happened? What did the government do? Apa government buat kalau sesuatu yang dibuat dalam kerajaan tu tidak mencapai kepada standard dia, ataupun mungkin dia tidak mematuhi undang-undang? What happened? Any idea, class? What happened? Anyone?
Minta tanggungjawab sama ketua Mido.
Okay, dia akan, sorry, come again?
Cari ketua
Cari ketua
department.
dia, cari ketua dia lah. right?
Ya.
Ketua dia dulu kena cari, right? Okay, so and then after that lagi selain daripada tu, okay, of course the those who responsible to something that been reported is basically will be us. Okay, what happened? Okay, and then they also been usually bila ada audit ni, bila ada audit report dia akan ada audit susulan dia panggil. Okay, so audit susulan ni dia akan tengok pula kepada findings that been reported in the first audit. Okay, so there will be stages of audit because of they want to check after they found out something, and then they will check the things that been reported again and again until basically if probably there are things which is not been done accordingly. Okay, according to the law and regulations, it basically didn't follow all the rules and regulations. Okay, of course, those who are responsible will be us again, and they have to provide a clear evidence after that. Okay, and if there is um, you know um, any activities of breach of trust, there are malpractices and so on. So some of the what do you call that the employees basically can be punished. Okay, so dia boleh dijatuhkan hukuman depend on the cases. Okay, so this is an activities that allow the government to check and also to balancing everything that need to be done. And also our audit activities also basically allow the government to take a corrective actions at the future. So betulkan something yang which is probably not right, okay, at the early stage of the implementations of any projects and programs. And also it allows the government to make a better decisions at the future. Of course, when you audit some programs of the government or activities of the government, which you found out probably is not right, is not good, is not efficient, is not effective, then later on from the audit report itself, okay, it shows that the same program is basically not good, okay, or not really working, okay, for the country. Then later on, the government can decide to stop the program, okay, stop giving a budget to the program, and they have to think about a better program that better for the government and also for the countries, okay, for the future. Okay, so this is the activities of audit. Okay, so the second one is actually the definitions is referring as well to the same things, okay, which is we are talking about obtaining and also evaluating the evidence. Okay, so what happened in the government after you've been given a budget, after you receive money from the government. Okay, so I believe that you are now working on your budget proposal, right? Okay, to be submitted. So you are proposing a program. So when you propose a program, of course, there are things that need to be achieved. Okay, you have some objectives of the program, and also you've been injected with several numbers of money. Okay, so after you are using the money, and of course, you need to be checked by the government. Okay, to ensure that all the money that been given is basically being used properly, and the program itself basically achieving the objectives. Okay, so are you giving probably the same amount of money for program which is not achieving an objective? Adakah kamu akan bagi satu sum of amount of money that is really big for a program for the programs that is not working? Kalau kamu bagi tidak duit kepada anak kamu kalau dia guna duit tu untuk perkara yang tidak memberikan manfaat? You akan bagi tidak? Tidak bagi. Right? Kalau kamu sendirilah rasa when you spend your money for the things which is in the end of it make you make you lost, ataupun you didn't receive any revenue or you didn't receive any things good from your spending, did you want to spend the same amount of money for the same thing?
No.
Mau tidak spend kepada benda yang merugikan?
No.
Of course tidak. Of course tidak, right? Okay, so same as well with the government. So because of that, there are one component that we call as audit process. Okay, so to check. Okay, sometimes in the report probably mungkin cantik tetapi mungkin tidak disokong dengan evidence. Itu lagi satu perkara yang mungkin berbeza. Report is quite good, they are saying that this program is achieving the objective and so on. Okay, however, it not supported with the evidence. Perkara lain lagi. So the audit, dia akan check pula evidence of the implementations of the program. So when they check the evidence, all the transactions and so on, so they will look into the whether the program is basically has been carried out correctly or not. Okay, if is it not efficient enough, if probably there are a lot of problems with the projects, so the audit report will telling that this program is not good, and then the government can later on decide probably differently at the future. Okay, so bila buat budget nanti next year, okay, the government akan tengok lah, alright. Okay, the government will take a look whether it's worth to give a same amount of money or not to this kind of program. So they will check, and it will be in the end of it, depending on the audit activities that been done within the government. Okay, so the objectives of the audit, okay, is basically there are a lot, okay, but let's focus on the 6 objectives of audit. Okay, so the first one is to determine any embezzlement from the estimations being played. Okay, anyone know what does it mean by embezzlement? Anyone? What does it mean by embezzlement? Cuba cari.
Penyelewengan.
Penyelewengan. Lagi? Selain daripada tu? Ada maksud lain? Okay. Ya, lebih kurang penyelewengan lah, ataupun any malpractices yang tidak unacceptable practice. Okay, penyelewengan, breach of trust dan sebagainya. Supaya audit ni akan check. Bila you receive, that ministries are receiving contohnya 6 billions for one project, for example. So it's quite big amount of money. Okay, so the programs will be audited, and then they will check whether there is any activities of embezzlements or breach of trust and so on. Okay, so kalau ada, then the next step will be taken by the government. Okay, and then the next one is to declare any wrongdoings in relation to the principles, orders, rules, and regulations. Okay, so it doesn't mean only related to money, okay, but also the program itself. Okay, to declare any wrongdoings. Kalau ada suatu perkara yang tidak betul di dalam, any implementations of a projects, programs which is not according to the principles, to the orders, to the rules, regulations, and law. Okay, so to check again, whether all the things that been done, okay, within the program, okay, within what been done in the government is, according to the law and rules and regulations. If is it, not following all the rules and regulations, then it depends on the cases of the audit itself. So when the detections happen, okay, so it will lead to mungkin perbincangan yang lebih serius lah. Okay, it can took into crime cases. Okay, and then the next one is to declare the elements and factors which fail to lead for effectiveness, efficiency, and economical utilizations of the government resources. Of course, when we're talking about economy, we are saying that the resources will always limited. Okay, however, the needs of the people will always unlimited. Okay, resources yang kita ada, duit dalam dompet agak limited, tetapi kemahuan kita, kehendak kita is basically unlimited. So because of that, not all the proposed program is acceptable within the government. So they have to think about, a bigger program that give a maximum impact to the people. Okay, however, when the government decided on certain programs, okay, to inject certain monies for certain programs, of course, we are waiting something big from the program or the injections of the money for the programs. Okay, however, if the program failed to achieve the objective, then the audit process will coming in to see what are the factors or elements that become a factors that basically lead to a failure of a program. So dia akan check pula apa penyebab kepada kegagalan sesuatu program. Okay, so what are the things that lead somebody ataupun the programs basically failed to achieve the objectives. Okay, so we have injected a lot of money. Okay, however, this project didn't give expected outcome as expected by the government. So dia adalah satu perkara yang merugikan. So because of that, the audit process will coming in and they will take a look deeply into a program and what are the causes of the failure of a program. So dia akan tengok penyebab ataupun punca lah. Okay, so bila dapat tahu punca, okay, when the government can see what are the factors that lead to the failure of a program, then whether the government can decide to stop the program immediately, or the government can think about accepting other proposals of activities. Okay, so this is to ensure that the same thing will not happen at the future. Sebab duit semua duit rakyat, right? Okay, so because of that, the government have to ensure juga okay, semua program yang dijalankan oleh government dia efficient ataupun efektif. Okay, otherwise kalau dia fail, we have to take a look into what are the things that make the program fail supaya so that it will become a learning process of the government to ensure that there will be no same decisions being made in the future. Okay, and then the next one is another objectives of audit is to check the accuracy of the financial transactions. Okay, to check lah, right? Kalau duit masuk 6 billion, memang dia masukkan 6 billion and then keluar pun 6 billion kepada perkara yang sepatutnya. Okay, the accuracies of the financial transactions. Okay, mesti di record properly lah. Okay, any activities of financial administration. Okay, and the next one is to check on the efficiency and effectiveness of the public servant responsibility. It's not only on the program, but the people itself will be checked. Okay, sama ada dia buat kerja dengan betul atau tidak, they become efficient or effective or not. Are they working, according to what been told or not? Okay, so everything will be done through the audit process. Okay, contohnya macam let's say the teaching and learning activities at the universities, especially in UiTM for examples. Okay, so they will check upon all the lecturers whether they are carrying out the job, the teaching and learning process accordingly or not. So they can check lah you punya record attendance, you punya markah, so everything will be recorded and also will be asked. If there is something which is not right, then the lecturer have to answer to the questions that been asked. Why these things happen? Why this, why basically, this KPI is not achieved and so on. So semua tu pun ditanya. Okay, so this is basically audit process. Okay, so another objectives of audit is basically to determine the financial status or okay, so another objectives of audit is to determine the financial status and operations of government bodies. Okay, so it is to check the activities within the ministries, within the department. Are they carried out all the activities, daily activities correctly or not? Okay, so dia akan check lah any activities yang sekecil-kecil itu pun dia akan check. It's not only the statement itself, but also the performance of each department and also ministries. Okay, the status of the operations, okay, will be checked by the audit activities. Okay, and then there are basically three types of audit. Okay, audit can be divided into three different focus. Okay, which is the first one is on the financial. Okay, second one we call as a compliance audit, And then the third one we call as a performance audit. Okay, so the financial, of course, okay, we check upon any activities of a financial record. Okay, so daripada our accounting activities that been done, okay, we debit, credit, or everything, we prepare accounting report and so on. So the financial report will be checked by the audit. Okay, so it will be carried out annually. This is basically a must within the government. All financial records within the government will be checked at least once a year. Okay, so this is basically according to provisions in federal constitutions that had been stated in Article 106 and also the Section 6 and also 9 of the Audit Act 1957. So the first one is we want to check the transactions of our money, okay, in out of our money. So everything must be recorded properly, and also it must be, of course, done correctly by the government in terms of financial usage and also financial records. Okay, and then the second one, we have a compliance audit. Okay, so the compliance audit is basically more on checking the activities and also evaluate the activities of the ministries and also the department or agencies. Okay, so every year basically the government or the ministries itself will having their own routine activities, okay, within the basically the agencies. Okay, so their daily activities, their routine basically will be checked. Okay, contohnya macam di hospital kan, okay, they will check every details of the activities in the hospitals, for examples, in terms of health. Sama juga macam contohnya in education, for examples, the teachers, the lecturers also will be evaluated, or it will be inspected. Okay, let's say that there are something wrong with the operations or with the process, then it will be reported and also taking actions lah if needed. Okay, so this is only to check whether all the activities within the government, okay, is according to the specific conditions, rules and regulations. Okay, so semua ikut SOP lah maksudnya, right? Okay, so everything is basically according to the SOP, the procedures that we set up. Okay, everything is basically must following the rules and regulations, okay, and so on. So all these kind of activities will be checked, okay, through the audit process. Okay, so this is basically has been mentioned in Section 6E, okay, of the Audit Act 1957. And the last one, okay, performance audit. Okay, performance is more on checking on specific programs or activities of the ministries. Okay, contohnya, okay, for examples, now we have the vaccinations program, for examples, okay, for COVID-19. Okay, so the audit will come and then checking upon these specific programs that been run by the Ministry of Health. Okay, contoh, you have a program, satu sukan, satu murid, for example. So there are some money been injected to this kind of program. And then in the end of the program, or in the middle of the program, the audit can come in and the audit can perform an audit activities, okay, related to specific programs of the ministries and departments ataupun any government agencies. Okay, any programs, okay, program apa lagi? Mungkin program bantuan, program pemakanan sihat sekolah rendah contohnya. Okay, so that specific program, okay, will be audited through a performance audit. So they will check upon a performance of the specific programs and activities of the activities that have been proposed by the ministries. Okay, projek pembinaan, contohnya jambatan daripada Penumbuk ke Labuan contohnya. Projek jambatan daripada, let's say, Pulau Redang contohnya ke Pulau Redang di mana? Okay, so contoh. Okay, so any activities or projects of the government, sama ada the activities ataupun project, everything will be audited. Okay, to check whether the program or project is been carried out correctly or not. Okay, so it is also, a performance audit will take a look into whether the activities or programs of a government has been done economically, efficiently and effectively. Ini saya cakap tadi lah, kalau program itu tidak bagus, if the program is not achieving the objective, or if the program is basically not reaching the specific outcome that been targeted, then several actions can be taken. Sama ada program itu has been stopped immediately, or it can be replaced with another program at the future. Okay, so this also been known as operational or management of value for money audit. Okay, so this is the three types of audit. Okay, financial, they can check kepada any transactions of a financial. Compliance is more on the activities within the ministry secara keseluruhan, okay, as overall. And then also performance is more on the audit on certain specific program or activity. So that is basically the difference of the three different types of audit. Okay. All right. So we're going to have few questions. Okay, so we're going to have a quiz. There will be 5 or 6 questions for the first session.